Hello, everybody. We've got Fezzi Wig here with us. He is a golden doodle and he's about 7 months old. Really good boy. He does struggle with some anxiety. He's a dog that has not been away from his owner since she got him, and he's the only 2 days that he was away from her is when he came to daycare here at our farm. So anyway, he does have a little bit of separation anxiety, overexcitement, that sort of thing. Very food driven, which we like, but we're gonna settle down a little bit to not be obsessive. It's going to be more relaxed engagement, and then we're gonna reward for that. So using the food consciously and rewarding for the state of mind that we want, as well as the behavior that we're teaching. So yeah, I know you're a good boy. He's got foxtails everywhere. We're having to brush him every day. He's gonna get a haircut pretty soon here, but yeah, foxtails have been fun. So for the anxiety, we've been doing, good boy. He's very excited. He knows it's dinner time. He's offering me so many behaviors. So this kind of thing he's doing, and a lot of trainers, they want this. They like it. They want that enthusiasm in the dog to try to figure it out, which we want that as well, but we want to gauge it. We want to take into account the dog's state of mind. We want to take into account the dog's energy level. We want to take into account the dog's focus level. So if the dog isn't focused and just doing stuff instead of actually tuning in, paying attention to what we're asking them, it is a good cue from them that it's, maybe add in a correction, maybe less treats and more variable rewarding. And then if they're taking those rewards too quickly, is something he does. He likes to snap at the treats. We will correct him a little bit on the remote collar in our training session when we're teaching just the vibration component. So he's understanding this enough. He's been doing work with his mom. She's been doing awesome work with this dog. She's been providing structure and leadership, and already has him on a prong collar. Their walks are awesome. And yeah, she started the remote collar at home already. So we've been doing a little bit of that. He's now here for a board and train. This is getting a little long, but I want to give you guys all the information. So we're going to be running him through some of his training drills. He's only been here a few days, and we're basically working him for his dinner. And we're going to be working him on downs, inward turns, and outward turns. So inward turns are towards the dog, and they have to yield to your body and stay kind of in that heel position. The outward turns are turns away from your dog, where they have to follow you around that turn, speed up their body, and get back into that heel position. So those are the 3 things that we're going to be doing. We may add some sits in there. We may add some duration to his down, probably not. We'll see what we do. But we're just running him through his commands. What I want you guys to pay attention to is the energy level, and when he gets overexcited about the food, we will slow him down. We will add some of those like communicative corrections. They're not like high level, super uncomfortable corrections. These are just like lower level. It's like, hey, pay attention a little bit. It's the same kind of thing if you're working on a prong collar. You've got your pressure work that you're doing. You hold that pressure up, they go into a sit. It's super soft work. It's a lot of like stuff that you would do with a horse, with a bit in its mouth or something like that on a halter. And for my horse people out there. So the pressure work is one of those communications on the prong collar. Your pops is the other version of communication on a prong collar, and a pop is a snappier version of that. If you see watching our prong collar videos, there is one that I demonstrate that, and it's more to grab your dog's focus or used as a correction. So I like to always tell people your pressure is when you have their attention and you actually, so this is a form of pressure kind of thing. That's more of a tug. It's kind of sloppy, but got your pressure and your pops. Pressure is slowly asking them to do it, increasing that pressure as much as you need it, engaging it. The pop is more of a snap. So your leash actually has to be with no tension in it, and then snap it, and it's a snap and release. It's like cracking a whip. So it's more of a, and then you can gauge your pops as well. Just a light pop, sometimes it's, you know, not that necessary. So those are the two communications on the prong collar. And what we start doing is layering the remote collar over that. So I'm using my pager as my pressure work, all of the just communication. This is me talking to you, you're getting rewarded for this, it's not a punishment. The corrections on the shock part of the collar, which have the levels that go up and down and move up in intensity, those are what we are using louder communication with, or using them as corrections on higher levels. So when we're working him through that, you'll see if he starts getting excited, I'll try to let you know when I'm using my nick on my collar, the shock part. And everything else, I'm just going to be using my pager, my vibration. So the vibration is cueing him for the turns and downs and basically everything that we're asking him to do. Your pager or your whole remote follows your leash, your body language, and your verbal commands. So we're gonna get to it because we've been talking for more than 5 minutes about what we're doing, but I really want you guys to understand this if you guys are gonna be doing it at home. All right, so he's a few days in and has had practice at home, so, and his mom has taught him all the tricks, so he knows down and sit and all that stuff. So for him, he's already offering me this behavior. So if he's in a down, I'm gonna ask him for a turn. I was gonna ask him for a down, but now I'm gonna ask him for a turn. So I press that pager and turn my body. He knows to come with me. Pager, move, treat. Pager, turn, treat. Good boy. Down. See how he jumped to the side with that pager when he felt it? That's him when he's too excited. He's not paying attention. Down. Good. So I actually used my leash and didn't add my pager until I wanted him over on his hip. So that I added the pager a little bit later. Good. So here we're going to use that correction a little bit. I'm on a lower level. Good. Moving it up a little bit. Down. Good. All right. So we're going to move that correction down because he's too amped up. What we're going to do is run him through some of this without treats. And then once he's grooving, we're going to add the treats in again. And what I'm gonna do is add a little leash correction in there. Gets a little bit worried about it, that's all right. But it relaxes him down, good boy. So now I can shorten my leash up and use a little bit of that pressure on it when I need it and add my treats back in. Fezzi down, good. And going slowly and letting him think about, okay, is he gonna break this down? Is he gonna come off his elbows when I hold the food right there? Down, good. Good, so that's what we want. We want that commitment to his down, and as you're bringing the food down, I don't want him to come and badger your hand for it. No, good. So there I'm just using my pager and either saying no or asking him to go back into that down. Just with the pager, I'm not correcting yet for him breaking his down because we haven't done enough repetitions of it. Good boy. And ideally you want them looking at you and not your treat bag, but we're not gonna get that fancy right now. If he gives me eye contact, I will, good boy. I'll mark it with good or yes and give him food. Down. Good. So if he gets up like that, I'm just gonna press my pager and ask him to down again. If he needs help, I'm gonna drop the leash out of my hand, use my foot like a pulley, and just give a little slight leash pressure to it. Or if I have my dog standing or lying down next to me and I'm having a conversation with a friend, I can put my foot on this leash. So if he gets up and I'm not good on timing on this or not paying attention in the moment, he's automatically going to be caught on the leash and go back into that down. So it's a really good thing for leash communication and all of that stuff. Good. Let's go. Good. So I'll slow my body so he's not super amped to get up out of that. Remember, you guys, we want relaxed engagement, not obsession. See how his fist, that's not even a word. His hip is faced away from me. It's pointing that way. I'm going to step into him a little bit, hold my pager and ask for that down a little again. I'm almost going to take a half a step back into his rib cage, and I want his hip to go over and him to face me. Down. Good boy. Did you guys see that shift? It was pretty obvious. Did you see that? Yeah, that's a good boy. What the purpose of that is when you have a reactive dog or whatever it is, if there's something over there off in the distance, So here, I'm gonna kneel on my leash because he's gonna get up, I'm gonna press my pager and he has to go back into that down. When people kneel or get down to pet a dog, they always wanna get up. So this is good practice for that. Even being pet, I'm taking my hand away if he's being goofy. Good, no. So even him itching at his collar and being goofy like that, that's not an appropriate way to be pet. There's a good boy. Being calm and relaxed is a good way to be pet. Got a foxtail here next to your eyeball. Let's get rid of that. Good boy. Good. So when you guys pet your dogs, they should be relaxed. There's a time and place for outside play and getting them rowdy and all that stuff. But typically when they get pet, especially by children, grandmas, all that stuff, any of your friends, they should be calm and relaxed. This should be the idea when you're petting them, not like, oh, hey. Okay, so the purpose of the hip is you've got a reactive dog over there, or a dog that your reactive dog wants to look at. Basically, what this is doing is putting them in a relaxed position next to you, which is one of the safest places they should feel safe, or the best places they should feel safe is right by your side. A few different places for that. One of them is by your side. So they have to face their back, turn their back on that scary thing over there and face you and put all of their trust into you. So this is a trust building exercise. It's a reactivity or lack of reactivity exercise, and impulse control. So there's so many good, valuable things about this hip. And I had a trainer friend who's like, whatever about the hip. He was kind of debating it. And I just find so much value in this, you guys. And I learned this from another trainer friend of mine. And it's, if you're in a scary situation for your dog and you're asking them to down and they're a little bit hesitant to do it, you'll notice they're gonna face the scary thing and be with their back towards you, because it's also a protection thing. If you have a reactive dog or a protective dog, they're facing away from you to protect you. They're facing that scary thing and they're putting their body in front of yours. So these are really, really good things with these animals that we need to pay attention to, and little things in training that you can do that are super, super beneficial for your relationship. So being him over on his hip, relaxed in that down rather than a sphinx down, ready to, launch and like sports stuff. You want that very straight line back down. So this is really, really good. So he's knowing his hips. We're teaching that. Excuse you, Fezzi. And yeah, we're gonna get back to training now. Down, down, good boy. And right now I don't really mind that he's out in front of me like that. We're not gonna get too picky with position. Again, this is his first, we're in his first week here. We haven't even made it to a week yet. Good boy, let's go, good. So there I'm pressing that pager for any of my movements. I'm gonna do a turn here. Sure. Good. Let's fix your little foot there, buddy. Good, let's go. So I do still use my leash for some guidance in this. Fezzi down. Good. So I'll use it under my foot if I need it. I'll pull it up here. You saw me do that. And I could use a shorter leash. Let's go. Good. Here's an inward turn. He's kind of in an awkward position. He's far behind me and out to the side. But if I can even put my leash behind my back. I've learned this trick yesterday from myself. And this is gonna guide him behind me and do more of a yielding thing. Pager, lure him into the position that you want. Good boy. So you guys, this is all you're practicing heel work and your downs for your remote collar. And the point of these turns is eventually this is gonna be your heel. So I can turn him heel, 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 good. Heel, heel, good. So he's stuck to that side, and every move that I'm making, I'm pressing that pager for the turn there, letting go, pressing again, letting go, pressing again, letting go. So each move that I make, it's like a dance. Let's go. Good. I know you've got a foxtail on you. We gotta get those out later. Good. Let's go. If he's lagging behind on a walk, I'm gonna move forward and press my pager. If he's out in front of me, I'm gonna do a turn. Good. Good boy. Good. Down. Good. So he's still kind of speedy in this stuff. He's definitely not biting my hand like he was yesterday in our training session. I was able to correct for that a little bit. And getting their focus, this is this relaxed engagement that I'm looking for. He's focused on what I'm asking him to do, not overthinking it. Down. Good. So there he was turned away from me. I just turned his hip by stepping into his rib cage a little bit, not touching him, just stepping in that direction. Let's go. Good. Good boy. Let's go. Good. Let's go. Good. So each time I'm moving, I'm pressing that pager and holding it until he's committed to the thing I'm asking him to do. Good. Heel. Heel. Good. So I cleaned that up. I over-exaggerated it there. I kind of went back that way a little bit. Down. Good. So I could complete that turn. If you're getting a little bit choppy or he's standing out here before you're doing your turn, it's feeling awkward and less fluidity to it, over-exaggerate your move that you're making. Good. So that way I stepped out away from him. Good. To get more of that ass end coming around. Good boy. Good. Fezzi, down. Down. Good. Good boy. Let's go. Good. Let's go. Good boy. Heel. Good. Good boy. Let's go. Good. Let's go. Down. There, I stepped on my leash. I have a feeling he's gonna get up. Good. So I used my nick there. I'm only on level 6, which is nothing. It's actually less intense than the pager. He felt it, but it's, again, you guys, that's not a correction level. That's just another communication level. And we want them to be versed on both of these things. So I'm actually gonna start running them through these drills on the continuous button and see what we get. So he's on level 6. We may have to move it up or down. Good. Down. Good. So it's the same conversation, whether I'm using the continuous low level or I'm using my pager. So in this teaching period, I'm gonna do some low level stuff with them so they understand that the pressure is the same. So that way, when I correct later, they have a really, really, really clear understanding of what I'm asking them to do. See that? When he turned his head to the side, like, what was that? Good. Let's go. Good. That's him not understanding what that sensation is. And so by repetition of, you know, just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, he's gonna understand, oh, it's the same sensation as the pager. He still gets that way with the pager. You saw in the beginning of this video when he was super amped up about it, there was my pager instead of my continuous button. Let's go. Let's go. Good. You could see in the beginning of this video when he was getting amped up, he was like bouncing off the pager and went to the other side and jumped backwards down. Now that I have his focus and he's calmed down, he's not so reactive to that pager. He's more responding well to it. Let's go. Good. And so I'm slowing my pace. If I have these dogs that are like adrenaline junkies, you guys, these cattle dogs, all these things, I really, really like to slow them down with this pager with still keeping the fluidity in it. So that just means like slowing those turns, making them focus on what they're doing instead of, you know, just there's a good boy. Good boy. Down. Good. All right, you guys. There you go. Good. Heel. Heel. Good. So there, when his head went down, I tapped my nick. It was just that 6. Again, probably wasn't even that intense, but he's more comfortable with the pager than he is the continuous button. Okay, let's go. The other reason I like to use this continuous is I've been using it a lot more for my dogs that don't understand your corrections. So just using that nick, sometimes they amp up off of it or don't understand it or get pissed off. I've been using low level continuous on a lot of those dogs to really use the negative reinforcement aspect of it, and it's been doing like really, really good work for them. So, good boy. All right, guys, we're out of kibble. Fezzi down. Down. Good. So again, I'm just alternating between doing some repetitions with my continuous button and then doing some repetitions with my pager. All right, we will keep you posted on Mr. Fezzi. This is his first week here. He's rocking and rolling, and we're absolutely loving working with him. All right, you guys, talk to you soon.
Fezziwig.